Sean's over on the other side hiding. So we're just gonna start, good morning. We're gonna start with just opening up the hips and just start by rolling the hips. We're gonna kind of warm up all those joints this morning and just nice big stretches, kind of get everything moving for the morning. So those of you just joining in, we're just gonna get started here. We're gonna work on the IT band. Great for stretching out through those hips and low back. And then just shift your weight forward and back. We're just kind of opening everything up, getting those joints moving, creating some heat in those hips. Awesome. Open those feet a little wider if you'd like. And we're just gonna rock from side to side, getting those inner thighs warmed up. So if you're watching this right now, I know it's Friday and you might be a little sore. And if you're doing this workout on a different day, maybe you're sore, maybe you're always sore, tight. So let's just hold it over to one side. Stay right here, just open that chest. And we are gonna work a little bit through that upper body as well. We are all connected, so we wanna make sure that we're doing it all. So how are we feeling this morning? I hope you guys are doing good. And switch over to the other side. Good, please know that I want you to modify as needed in any of our stretches. Go ahead and take it to center. Turn your toes slightly out, so or heels in, however you want to think about it, and then drop down. I want you to round your back, so round and open, and just do that at your own pace, kind of driving that belly button down and then driving it all the way up. And feel free to roll the shoulders while you're there, and back up, and then down, and then back up. Let's do that one more time, and then just hold it down. Hold it right here. Keep those toes turned out. Take one shoulder and just twist it over to one side. Now remember, we're still warming up, so take your time if you'd like to look up. Start stretching out that neck, and then exhale. So just going through your motions here, nice and smooth. Make sure you're not bouncing or jerking those movements, and then come back down, round and roll yourself up. Roll the shoulders, all the sun's coming out. Let's bring those feet together. Big inhale, reach up, and just go ahead over to one side. You can grab your wrist or your hand. You can just reach those fingertips. Take your elbow, bring it slightly back, and really open from the armpit down the side of the hip. Keep those abs in nice and tight, and up through the center, switching to the other side. So if anything isn't feeling good for you, I want you to remember to let go of that, stretch a little bit. Maybe you're in it too deep. Lift up, and then exhale, shake everything out. Let's roll the shoulders back, and as you roll, squeeze your shoulder blades and then drop down, and then round and squeeze, and then drop down. I just want you to follow your breath here, just in any of your stretches, and then exhale, release, and shake it out. We're going to take one arm, bring it across the chest. So when you notice that shoulder up, I want you to take your shoulder, take it away from your ear, and then press that arm against your chest. Now, if you'd like, you can look over to that same side. And then slowly shake it out. You can give yourself little hugs back and forth. Yay. You gotta love yourself. And let's switch sides. Take the other arm across the chest. Drop your shoulder blade down, and then press that arm against the chest. So if you feel your shoulder rising, press it back down. And then if you'd like, you can look over. And then back to center. So this morning we're going to listen to the birds. Frogs are asleep right now. They decide that they're going to stay awake all night long. All right, let's shake it out. We're going to bring our arms behind you. Roll your shoulders back. Drop them down into your rib cage. And then if you'd like, you can squeeze those shoulder blades, lift your arms off your back. So if you want to lift your arms off your back, you can. If this is as far as you can go, that's completely fine. Remember, we're still kind of warming up here. And if you want to open up your feet just a tad, you can twist your body back and forth. And just let those arms swing. This should feel really good. So not only are we stretching through the chest and shoulders, but we're helping that circulation in our heart by opening it up. And then whenever you feel like you've kind of completed that movement, shake it all out. We're going to keep our feet just hip distance. Take a big breath, shake everything out that you need to shake out, and then we're going to bend the knees and slowly come down. You can use your hands for support and just let your arms hang. Now you guys stay where you're at. You can bend your knees, and I want you to literally just ragdoll your body. So we haven't quite hit the hamstrings yet. We're working on that lower body, working our way down. So So just hang, and if you want to rock from side to side, you can shift your weight from right to left, or swing your body from right to left, and just create some motion in that lower back. And the deeper you bend your knees and rest your belly on your thighs, the deeper the stretch to that low back. And let your head hang heavy. So if you're feeling tight and looking forward, just let your body hang heavy. Let's hold it center in that ragdoll. Just stay right here. Now let your arms just fall down. So if they don't touch the ground, that's fine, but your knees are bent, so they probably touch. Maybe you can hold on to your shins, but very lightly. And just let your arms hang as heavy as you can, and lift your head maybe once or twice, so that there's no tension in your head, so the top of your head is facing the ground and you're looking through your thighs. All right, let's take those hands. We're gonna place them on our shins. Push that tailbone up and notice your chest come halfway up. So use your fingertips now against your shins to push your chest forward and your tailbone back. Take your shoulder blades, press them into your hips. So now we're hitting those hamstrings here. I want you to be mindful of what your body feels like. Might be tight back there. We're gonna loosen it up. We'll do this again later. You'll notice the difference. Exhale, drop it down. Keeping those legs straight with a little micro bend in the knee is fine. And hinging at the hip, allow your body to stretch. So now with those hips hinged, you can grab those elbows and rock from right to left again. Now this time when you do that, kind of turn that shoulder over to the side as if you're twisting, and feel that go in through the hips, all through the back of that thigh. Head is heavy. Hold it here. Take a breath. Release the arms. Inhale, halfway up. Feel the difference here. Exhale. And release. Bend the knees. My cowboy's going to walk through. I know you need your car. Go up. Roll your shoulders back and shake it out. Awesome. Now, this would be a good time if you need your block to grab a block. Maybe you want a book or something else if you're real tight through those hamstrings. So we're going to do a few stretches standing and then finish seated. So you can have your block this way or this way, just depending. Big inhale, reach up nice and tall. And then hinging at the hip, exhale, we're going to take it down. You can soften the knees if you need to and come down into that forward fold. So now if you don't need your block, you don't have to use it. I'm going to push mine to the side so you can see my feet a little bit better. Bend your right knee and lift that heel up. So now we're focusing on that straighter leg. You can rest your belly on your thighs and just let yourself hang heavy here. So we're going to stay right here. Now if your right heel is lifted up, take your left hand and place it on the ground. So we have opposites. Take that other arm and reach it up. Good. So notice that stretch starting to happen through the hips here. Reach those fingertips. If it bothers your shoulder, just drop your hand on your hip. Listen to your body. Exhale, take it down. Slow, deep breath. Exhale, halfway up. So feel the difference between those two hamstrings, right in the back of the thigh. Drop it down so we can do the other side. Lift your heel up. So we're on the other side. Lift that other heel up. Opposite hand comes to the ground or on your block. And then reach that arm up to the sky. So we're creating a nice little twist. You can put your hands on your shins if you need to. So if you don't have any tools, you can be up here. Open that palm. Feel that twist through the spine, working on that lower back as well. Slowly take it back to center. Hang heavy, bend your knees, and just let yourself ragdoll again. So now those knees are bent. Feel that through the lower back. Inhale, slowly. Take your time. You can walk your hands up your thighs to come to a standing position. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, shake it out. And then open your feet nice and wide. So kind of like what we did with our warm-up. Bend the knees, drop your hands on your thighs, turn your toes and knees as far out as you feel you can go, and then push those knees off to the side. So you can have your hands on your thighs. You can have your forearms on your thighs. I don't want you going too far. This isn't about stretching through the knees here. I want you to isolate through the inner thigh and hip here. All right, so it's a different stretch. Chest is slightly forward. Feel it. You can use your arms however you need to push those knees. We're working on the inner thigh and low back here. Kind of alternating back and forth. Hands come on the thighs. Round if you need to. Roll up and shake it out. So let's walk those feet in. So now we're back to the outside. We're going to work through the IT band. Take one leg and cross it over. So as we cross that leg over, you're going to notice the flexibility in this leg a little different. Inhale, reach up. And you don't have to, just a big inhale is fine. Take it down into that forward fold again. So that supporting leg is where the stretch is gonna happen. Let your head hang heavy. This crossed leg is the one that's more for balance. And this is where those blocks might come in handy. You can hold on to your shin and just let your head hang heavy. Now what I'd like for you to do is take your tailbone and turn it off to the direction of that leg that is supporting. So if you're on your right leg, tilt to the right. So feel that stretch go right from the outside of the hip, kind of right to the outside of the leg, maybe even into that back of the knee. Slowly release it. Now keep it here. If you have a hard time with your head down, you can always come up, shake it out, and then come back. But we're gonna take that crossed leg and step it further off to the side. So your weight is actually on the blade of your foot here. Now you might notice if you're really tight, you wanna turn. So make sure your hips are still facing the front of your mat and lean into this foot and the blade of your supporting leg. So I want you to push this hip off to the side. Relax your head. Now I know you're gonna have a tension to wanna hold up and resist. Try to relax. Let everything go. Take a breath. Oh, maybe you can lean a little deeper into it. Again, keeping those hips facing to the front of your mat. Let your head hang heavy. I have to remind myself too. Slowly back into the center and uncross your legs. It's easier to come out of it. Shake your legs out if you need to. Ragdoll yourself up to a standing position. Oh, and before we do the other side, shake it all out. You can open those hips. Take a deep breath. You can roll it out, whatever feels good to you. And then just shake it out for a second. Feel the difference between those two sides. Should feel really good. All right, so we're gonna do the other side. Take that other leg, cross it on over. We're gonna take a big breath. Arms up or just keep them down, whatever feels good. Exhale, forward fold. So before we do any twisting, I just want you to focus on that one leg right through the back of the leg. And if you need your block, my leg is a lot tighter on this side, so I'm gonna use my block. And then let your head hang heavy. Relax your upper body. The more we can relax that upper body, the deeper we can get through those hips. So now holding it here, we're on the other side. Tilt your tailbone off to the corner. So if your left leg is there, tilt to the left. If it's the right, turn your tailbone to the right. Your body might want to come up. So if you're fighting it, breathe through it. You can do it. Nothing should be painful. Exhale it back to the center. Keep those legs crossed and step that crossed leg out so you're leaning deeper into it. So if you can't see right here, we're leaning into it. The weight is on the blade of that supporting leg. Now, if you're feeling that body twist, I need your hips center. We're working on that IT band. Press that hip off to the side. If you're shaking, slow, deep breath. Maybe you need to release it a little bit. Take it back to the center. Uncross those legs. It's easier to come up from that position. Shake it out if you need to. Round and roll up. Feel free to use those hands to walk up your thighs and then shake it out. Oh, uh-oh. You might watch my dog eat a lizard right now. All right, open those feet up. It's entertaining. Go ahead, take those hands on your thighs, drop it down. It's always something. Right here, hold it. All right, so you can have your elbows on your thighs, you have your hands, but if your hands on your thighs, notice those shoulders start to come up, let them go. We don't want to create more tension in that upper body. Take your knees and push those hips out. All right, hands on the thighs, slowly round and roll up. Shake it out. We're gonna do one more standing one. Before we do that, I want you to just click your heels to your hips. So feel that stretch through the front of the thigh. Stretch it out, just kind of feels good. All right, so last one, we did side, we did inner, we did back. So let's get through the front of the hip before we lay down. Take one leg, bring it forward, and then the other leg, take it back, kind of like a lunge. Okay, so looks like a lunge, but make sure your feet, that back foot especially, is facing forward. And if you have a hard time with balance, if you stagger your feet a little wider, it makes it a little easier to balance. So we're gonna hold that lunge, tilt your pelvis forward. So we wanna drop and stretch here. Now while we're doing this, stay where you're at. I want you to press your hips forward. Let your heel, your back heel, drop down too. Now it won't touch, that's fine. But notice the stretch to the back of the calf as well. Take a deep breath. Now keeping the chest, shoulders stacked over the hips. If you'd like, you can bring both arms up and lengthen through the spine here. Now maybe you can drop a little bit lower, feel that stretch of the calf, and a little deeper through the front of the thigh. Now here's the deal. I want you to make sure you're not arching your back. Shift your weight back, but keep everything solid. Feel that stretch get deeper through the front of the body and all the way down the front of that thigh. Arms can be up, here, hips, wherever you choose, but open through the front. Then exhale and step and shake it out. Good, so we're gonna do the other side. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Let's go into our lunge here. Remember, you can stagger your legs a little bit wider. I'm gonna give you a little tip here. Roll the hips forward. Slowly drop down. Remember, we wanna relax that back heel. So it's not gonna go real far and then stretch out. Remember, you can have your arms wherever you'd like. Deepen that stretch by dropping down a little lower. Now, a lot of times our low back is tight because we're really tight through our front of our hips. It's hard to stretch the front of our body, but it's easy to fold forward, fold forward. We always do these same stretches. So it's very important that we get through the front of the body, because what happens is if our body tilts, everything gets tight. So a lot of people think, oh, I have a bad back. No, you might actually be tight through your hip flexors. Shift that weight back. We're staying here for a little bit. I know you're working those muscles. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Remember, we're not arching. We're just shifting back. Exhale, release it. Step it together and shake it out. Awesome job. All right, let's take it down onto the ground. So we are going to take it onto the ground. I'm on concrete, so I'm gonna sit on this little blanket, but you are very welcome to grab a blanket as well and sit on it as well. So when I sit on this blanket, I kind of sit on the edge of it. And the reason we sit on the edge of it is so that you can get your sit bones on there. Now you can also grab a pillow and you can sit on your pillow, or if you have your block, you can sit on your block. But all these stretches, you won't be able to do on your block. It's a little high. So just for a second, we're opening up the hips, and if you want to gently wiggle those knees, you can. We're not really bouncing. It's very controlled, keeping that chest up nice and tall. Remember, we're working on the IT band, the hips and low back, so we're going to get into that. Bring your chest forward. Now, you don't have to go real far, just enough where you can push those shoulder blades back. Nice deep breath. Shake it out. Hold it right here. And then round the shoulders, drop it down. And then you can round that back, starting to stretch out more through that lower back, which I promised you. Just let everything go. You guys are gonna float off your mats today. Then take another breath. Maybe your shoulders start to sink a little bit more. Use the arms underneath your shoulders. That helps kind of weight yourself down. Allows you to get a little closer to those legs. Slowly push yourselves up. Good. So what we're gonna do here, and you can stay on your blanket or your pillow, is remember we're gonna work through those hip flexors in IT band, but we're gonna go right through that hip flexor here. Swing one leg around and then open up. So this looks like a little pretzel, we call this. We're working this leg, the back leg. Now if this bothers your knee, you can have it a little bit further out, but again, we're opening through the front of the body here. So bend the knee. We're gonna lift our chest up, make sure you're not rounded. Lift up and then twist over to the side. Now if you feel yourself sinking, open up the chest, and if you'd like, you can look over your shoulder. Now not only are we stretching through our spine, but I want you to imagine taking that back hip and pushing it forward into the corner. And as you breathe out, maybe you can twist a little bit further. Use that back hand to create a little deeper twist. Slowly release it. Take it back to center. Good. Let's go back to the center here into our butterfly. Feel the difference in those two legs. Inhale. Exhale. So the secret to loosening up those hips is not just those obvious areas like your low back and your glutes here, but it's stretching through the front of the body, the which is a lot harder to get to. All right, so let's pretzel our body the other direction. We're gonna swing that leg around. Shift your weight onto that other side of your tush here. Lift up. Remember, listen to your knees. If this is too much, you can open up bigger. And then lift that chest up. We want to twist with a straight spine. And then holding it here, you can push that hip up and forward, lengthening through the front of the hip and through that quadricep. Now we're also getting through that midsection. Look over your shoulder. Hi, Sophie. Take one more breath here. Maybe you use that hand on your leg or the one on your mat. Slowly release. Shake it out. Swing that leg back around. And let's go back to our butterfly. All right. So we're going to do this again. Take note of how you feel. Chest forward. Bring it forward. So again, we don't want to round the back quite yet. We're going into the hips. Now you can round the shoulders. Drop it down. Feel free to grab those ankles or toes or wherever you can. And just let the weight of your arms and the weight of your head drop you down. Feel the difference from when we first started. And then slowly come on up. All right, so we got through here, we got through here. We're gonna go ahead and get back into the lower back. So we're gonna move your blanket, if you have one, and keep it nearby. We're gonna actually go into a little pigeon here and get through that piriformis, so that back leg is gonna come back and swing behind you. So the easiest way to get into this is get into that little pretzel and then shift your weight over. Now we want a little 90-degree angle here. You don't want to be sitting on your calf. So if you're really tight, here's where that pillow, blanket, you can shove it right under your tush here and sit. So you don't want to be sitting all the way down here. We're not going to get the same stretch. So up here, you can shove that blanket or block, whatever you need to. I'm just trying to show you guys. Is you can take it and just sit. All right, so depending on your flexibility. Or in pigeon here, maybe you want to shift that back leg back a little further, and I'll show you what this looks like here, like this. And now if you choose, you can come on down and relax. And if you have another block or another pillow, you can rest on that too. And I want you to stay here for a little bit. We keep a lot of tension in our hips, and we've been working on that the whole time. So you may notice that you're starting to release a lot of tension. You're feeling a lot lighter right now. And even though we're working on that lower body, kind of that stress in your shoulders and head is starting to come away. Take a breath. And as you let go, feel free to shift just slightly over towards your foot. So not towards your knee. I want you to shift closer to your foot. Maybe your body comes up a little bit. Probably really tight through those hips. That's okay. Listen to your body. If this is too deep, come up a little bit. Taking one more slow, deep breath here. Exhale, just let it go. Feel as though when you breathe out, you can almost release that stretch a little bit deeper. And then slowly coming up. The easiest way to come out of this is to go ahead and shift your weight onto that tush. Swing that leg around. And before we do the other side, straighten that leg that we just had in front of us and then shake everything out. And feel free to flush it out. So I like to just kind of create some circulation, work on those lymph nodes a little bit. Take a big breath with your legs in front of you. Exhale for hamstrings. Reach those fingertips, drop your head. And then slowly come on up. Notice the difference between those two legs. That leg that was in front should feel nice and light, right? So remember, the easiest way to get into your pigeon without doing anything fancy, any downward dogs or anything, is start in your pretzel. You just swing that leg, then shift your weight back up, and then swing that leg back. So here's where, if you need that blanket or pillow or whatever it is, shove it right under your tush here, okay? So everybody's gonna be different. Don't worry about it. And you're also going to notice one leg completely different than the other. So you might be on your tighter side, you might be on your more flexible side. Listen to your body. And then let your body sink into that ground if you choose. You can stay up if you need to. Remember, you have plenty of tools at home, lots of pillows. Anything to rest yourself on is completely fine. Take a breath. Good. Now, if you'd like, you can shift your weight just a little closer towards your foot, deepening that stretch. If it's a little too much, you can come up a little bit, but make sure you're not shifting your weight towards your glutes. Maybe you want to walk your back leg a little further, lengthening the back leg. Taking a couple more breaths here, really allowing that tension and stress to come out of your hips. One more breath right here. And as you exhale, feel your body floating. Maybe that last breath, you can get a little bit further into it. And then slowly walk yourself back up. So again, coming out of it, the easiest way would just be lean over, bring that leg forward, straighten that other leg, and let's go ahead, shake it out. Feel free to flush it out if you want both legs straight. Kind of create that circulation, feels kind of good. Big inhale, reach up. Keeping that back straight, so it's okay if you don't go very far. I just want you to hold it here and shift your weight back and forth. So imagine pushing that tailbone and those hips back, and then hold it center. And then round the back. Maybe your arms come closer. Let your head fall heavy. Feel that stretch to the low back, working yourselves around the glutes into the hamstrings. Let your shoulders round, open up those shoulder blades away from your rib cage. Slowly come on up and shake it out. Good, let's shake it out. All right, so we're gonna finish off our stretch. So today is supposed to be like a 30-minute workout today. So we're gonna lay down. Lay down as slow or as fast as you like. Just kind of take your time, whatever you need. Laying down here, first extend those legs straight out. Big stretch, arms above the head. And just give yourself a big wiggle. And then shake it out. Good, bringing the arms to your side. We're gonna bring those knees up into a tabletop. That means the knees are over the hips. All right, and I just want you to rock from side to side. If you want to hold on to your legs for more control, you can. And then we're going to circle those knees around. And you could do this, if you want a little more ab workout, you can do that without your hands. But feel that massage go through the middle back, into your lower back, probably into your glutes here, and then circle the other direction. And then back to center, take a breath. Last stretch here, arms come out to a T. And then with your knees at your hip height, take your knees over to one side into that spinal twist. So we're gonna hold that spinal twist here. If your opposite shoulder is hanging high, that's fine. Your shoulder doesn't have to touch, but if you'd like to look over your shoulder, feel free to do so. Open those palms up to the ceiling or to the sky, wherever you're at. Feel that stretch to open up the chest as well. And then taking that head center first, you can bring those knees in. Feel free to rock from side to side for a second if that feels good. And then let's take those knees over to the other side. And just holding it for a moment on this side as well. Feel free to look over that shoulder. Let your shoulders sink down into the earth. If it doesn't touch, that's okay. A final twist through that spine. So feel free to do these stretches anytime. You can go back to any of these workouts anytime on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and like the ones that you're doing so that we can do more of them for you. We definitely appreciate you following us and working out with us. Take those knees back to center. We're gonna hug the knees as tight as you can. Now you can have your hands on your shins or underneath the knees. We're gonna bring our body as close as possible. Squeeze your chin to your chest. So create a little bit of a massage through your neck as well. So that helps with your thyroid. Slowly drop it down. Take a breath. Exhale, squeeze your body again. Create that circulation through that digestive system. Squeeze that chin to your chest. And then slowly release it. Exhale, bring those legs down. Bottoms of your feet to touch for a little butterfly. Arms over the head, big stretch. Feel those knees sinking towards the side. And then arms come to your side. and extend those legs straight out. So let's stay right here. Just take a moment here. Feel your shoulders push away from your chest and away from your ears. Palms are up. Feel those toes and knees start to fall off to the side. Feel your belly rise and fall as you breathe. Even feel your cheeks sink towards your ears. And take one slow, deep breath. Take it all in, and as you exhale, feel your body sink into your mat. So let's go ahead and bend the knees. We're going to roll ourselves over onto one side. So it doesn't matter which side, into a little fetal position here. You can have your knees super tight, or you can have them open. But just rest your head on your arm for a second here. Just take a second. And that top arm, you can have rested anywhere you want, but we're going to kind of take that arm and press it against the chest. Give yourself a little hug here. Feel that spine. It should be nice and flat. And feel that body just sinking in. Should feel really good. Then use that top arm to push yourself into a seated position. So here we are. If you want to stay where you're at, or if you need to do more, you're welcome to do more. But I do appreciate you joining me this morning. I hope you feel amazing. So please continue to tune in. So, badass in me, honors the badass in you. Namaste.